Hello, and welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to take a look at my modded Game Boy Advance systems. And I've done a video on one of them in the past that has the AGS-101 screen from the Game Boy Advance SP. And then I recently picked up another Game Boy Advance that has the IPS screen mod. So we're going to take a look at them. I'm going to show you what they look like, how they run. So let's get into it. Okay, so the model I have in front of me now is the first one I purchased. This is the model that has the AGS-101 screen in it. It is from a Game Boy Advance SP. I had a brain fart for a second. But this is the one I had the longest, and that is the only mod that is on this system. It does have, I think, some clicky buttons and stuff, which I'm not quite sure if it's a mod, but I've heard some people say I'd rather have the clicky buttons than not have the clicky buttons, because this one does and my other system doesn't. So I have no idea if that's an actual thing, but it does. As far as this goes, and you can see right now, my charging battery light, or the battery indicator light, is red already, and these are new batteries. So there is something wrong, I think, like with the voltage regulator or something like that. There isn't one on here. So yeah, these batteries are fresh, they're new. So I have no idea how to fix that. I cannot solder, so that's why I bought this system. And I'm trying to remember how much. I think it was around 70 bucks I paid for this system. So just the AGS-101 mod, 70 bucks. I feel like the seller could have done a little bit better job. The screen, the screen's fine, doesn't look too bad there. AGS-101 model. The buttons, the D-pad, this is a little bit mushy, I find. And see, there it goes back, so it can't make up its mind. The D-pad is a little bit mushy. The other buttons I have not had any issues with. And the other issue I have a little bit with is the audio jack over here. And if I plug in some headphones, there's some static interference and stuff. And if I actually plug them all the way in, which is what you're supposed to do, I actually only get mono sound. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I don't really use the headphones too often. If I pull it out slightly out of the headphone jack, then I have stereo. Makes no sense to me, but I'm sure there's some kind of interference or ground issue or whatever. I'm not an electrician, so I have no idea what's wrong with it, but something is definitely wrong with it. If I ever get brave enough where I know what I'm doing, I might open this up and see if I can fix it. But as it is right now, I'm just going to leave it and not touch it. So let's hear the sound a little bit here, and I'm going to turn it up a bit. And then I'm just going to play a little bit while this is running. So let's have a little go at it here. And we'll see how well this works through the camera. Did have a little save game. I was playing around with it a bit. So I don't even know what board I'm on, but I'm on something. So, like I said, the D-pad is a little bit mushy, but as I say that and then I get smashed in the face. But the D-pad is a little bit mushy. I don't notice it too much unless, you know, precision platforming and such, but I don't have too big of an issue with it. There we go. I was going to say, I forgot how to put them up on my shoulders. And I threw him the wrong way. I don't remember how to throw him up in this game. I have a SNES on my mind. But, you can see the screen. It definitely is better than what the GBA comes with, because you need a light to see what's in the GBA. Normally. But, it looks pretty good for what it is. And like I said, this is the only mod that I got on this GBA. There's some sellers that offer some other mods, like a rechargeable battery, which I don't have on this. Louder speaker. I can't remember all of them, but there's definitely, it's a pretty heavy modding scene where you can also get parts yourself too, if you know how to do some of these things, and just have a blast. Alright, so that is pretty much the GBA with the AGS-101 screen. And I don't play this one very much anymore. I prefer my IPS one, which I'll show you in a moment. But the other issue I had with this system now is it doesn't always turn on. So when I first started this video, you saw both systems on, and that's because this system off camera took me about 5 tries to get this to turn on. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one either, but I'll probably leave it on for a little bit and just in case I come back to it. But yeah, so overall, the seller I bought it from is kind of like eh. So if you are going to buy it from a seller, make sure they're reputable and they do quality work. Okay. All right. Enough rambling about the AGS-101. Let's take a look at the IPS screen mod. All right, and here we have my modded Game Boy with the IPS screen, and this also has the louder speaker. And I do not have any issues with this system at all. The D-pad's great, the buttons are great, and these shoulder buttons are not clicky. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really care. The headphone jack works just fine. Everything works just fine. And just look at that screen. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'll show them to you in a bit closer. But yeah, I mean, it's 4 times, I think it's 4 times the pixels of the AGS-101. So it looks just fabulous. And as you can see, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga was in here while I was playing it. Let's have a listen. Okay, and that was maxed, so, and it still sounds great. It doesn't distort at all. And you might have seen the battery indicator light change colors, and that does happen on this one also, which is why I think it's a voltage regulation thing, because this screen definitely needs more power for sure, and so does the AGS-101. So I'm just thinking that these regular AA batteries that I use just can't cut it. So whatever. It runs, so I don't really care too much. But I'm gonna pop it up and let's see where I left off a bit. So I was playing something here. I haven't been here in a little while, so I don't remember what I was doing. So I might just take you around the town a bit. Oh yeah, I picked up the hammers. Oops. Yeah, it's been a little while. I kind of forgot how to switch all the controls and everything. That's quite interesting. Okay. But I mean, as you can see, this screen is absolutely gorgeous. Speaker sounds pretty good too. Let's turn that off. But as you can see, I have no issues with these buttons here. Most of it's just me. But I mean, this looks great, sounds great. Pretty nice system here. All right, so I'm gonna go grab my other GBA and we're gonna take a closer look at comparing them. All right, so I have grabbed both GBAs now. So this is with the IPS mod, and this is with the AGS-101. And I'm not quite sure how I can, let's see, I'll turn them sideways. You can still see it. So this right here on my left is the AGS-101 screen. The one on the right is the IPS display. And you can see that this one still kind of looks a little pixelated, and the IPS is very sharp. It's very vibrant, clear, awesome colors. I'm very happy with it, and I definitely play my IPS modded Game Boy more. Not that, you know, the AGS-101 is terrible. Definitely an upgrade if you're coming from the original screen for sure, but I definitely like the IPS. So if you're looking to go either way, here's what they look like. And I'll let you listen to the speaker for this one. This one is not modded, it's original. And then on my IPS modded Game Boy, it is modded with a louder speaker. And it is definitely louder for sure. And it doesn't distort, which is awesome. So that was done correctly. All right, so my AGS-101 modded Game Boy, I paid around $70 on eBay. Lesson learned about this one, I'd say. So if I could fix some of the things wrong with it, I definitely would. I don't know how to solder, so maybe at some point when I get comfortable, I'll do that. And then my IPS display. Oh, I forgot to show you something on this one. The IPS version has brightness controls. So if I hold the button down and hit the shoulder buttons, the brightness changes. And yeah, I totally forgot to mention that. So yeah, that's another plus. So I can turn down the brightness and save on the battery life a little bit. But yeah, so the IPS mod has the brightness controls on it, which is what you need to know how to solder to do, because it needs to be soldered on there. So that I couldn't do by myself. So I just had somebody else do it for me. And this system I paid about $150 off of Etsy. So if you're not a handy person, I can leave the link in the description, and I am very satisfied with my purchase on this. So if you're kind of afraid to tinker with something, you don't know how to do something, and you're in the market for an IPS display Game Boy, this is it right here. I would highly recommend this seller. And he also does other mods besides IPS. If you want, you can still have the AGS-101. There's the louder speaker. You can have the battery charger, which I didn't go for, but you can have rechargeable batteries in it. He also does the overclocking. So if you play a lot of text-heavy games like Pokemon, he'll put like a little switch up here, and you flip the switch, and then you can speed through all the text and stuff. And I'm trying to think, I think he does a couple other things, but those are the ones that I was looking at the most, mainly thinking about getting, and I just decided to get those two. All right, so that wraps up this video, taking a look at my modded Game Boy Advance systems. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're planning on picking up a modded GBA, if you already have a modded GBA, and if you did it yourself or not, let me know that also. Maybe you can help me diagnose what's wrong with this one, because I have no idea what to look at. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Hey, thanks for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at GenialGamerGal. Also, be sure to check out other gaming videos on my channel, including collections, pickups, unboxings, reviews, and news. I'll see you in the next one.